Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I am Ms. Shagufta Musarrat from the English Department of APSEC 208 Humayun Road, Rawalpindi. Today, in our lesson of English Grammar for Class 9, we shall cover the following topics. Number 1. Finite and non-finite verbs. Number 2. Linking verbs. Number 3. Subject complement and object complement. Let's begin our lesson. Dear students, first of all, we will learn about finite and non-finite verbs. We all know that a verb can appear in 5 different forms. The root or base form, that is first form of verb. The S form, that is first form of verb plus S or ES. The past tense, that is second form of verb. The present participle, that is first form of verb plus ing or the ing form of verb, and the past participle, that is third form of verb. Let's see the examples. First, we take the example of verb do. We can see that it has 5 different forms: do, does, did, doing, and done. The verb play has the 5 forms: play, plays, played, playing, and played. Let's see what are the finite forms of verb. The first form of verb, the S form of verb, and the second form of verb are finite verbs in the sense that they are complete as predicate verbs in sentences. In other words, they convey full sense and do not need any helping verb or auxiliary. The following examples will make our concepts clear. Number 1. I do work. Here, do is the root or first form of verb. Number 2. She does work. Does is the S form of verb. Number 3. We did work. In this sentence, did is the past tense or second form of verb. Number 4. They play chess. Here, play is the root or first form of verb. Number 5. He plays chess. Plays is the S form of verb. And last of all, number 6 sentence, you played chess. Played is the past tense or second form of verb. So, dear students, you see that do, does, did, likewise play, plays, and played are the finite verbs. They are finite because they do not require any helping verb to make the sense clear. Rather, they can stand on their own and convey full sense. Dear students, after learning about the finite verbs, we now move to the non-finite verbs. Both the participle forms of verb, that is, the present participle, first form of verb plus ing, and the past participle, third form of verb are non-finite verbs because they cannot stand by themselves in sentences and need helping verbs or auxiliaries to convey full sense. Let's take some example sentences. Number 1. He is doing work. Here, doing is the present participle or ing form of verb that cannot stand by itself without the help of the auxiliary is. Number 2. We have done work. Done is the past participle or third form of verb and cannot convey full sense without the auxiliary have. Number 3. She is playing chess. Playing again is the present participle or the ing form of verb and requires the auxiliary is in order to make full sense. Number 4. I have played chess. Played here is the past participle or third form of verb which cannot stand by itself in the sentence and needs the helping verb have to convey full sense. Therefore, we see that doing, done, playing and played in these 4 example sentences are the non-finite verbs because they cannot stand by themselves and require the helping verbs is and have to make the sense clear. Dear students, let's see what we are given here in the note. It says, the present participle doing with an auxiliary is, are, was or were expresses the continuous tense, while the past participle done with an auxiliary has, have, had expresses the perfect tense. In the passive voice, the past participle is preceded by a form of the verb be as an auxiliary. See the example sentences. Number 1. Work is done. Number 2. Chess was played. In both these sentences of passive voice, done and played are the past participles which require the auxiliaries is and was to convey full sense. Although the participles doing and done are non-finite, the verbs formed by adding auxiliaries to these participles are finite. Thus, is, are, was, were doing, has, have, had done, and is, are, was, were done are finite, as are more complicated verbs having more than one auxiliary, like has, have, had been doing, will have been doing, and will have done. Dear students, we must keep this thing in our mind that the infinitive is also a non-finite verb. The infinitive is made up of the word to and the root or first form of a verb. It may also appear without to and is therefore called bare infinitive. Now, we will take some example sentences which will make our concepts about finite and non-finite verbs more clear. Number 1. Feeling tired, he decided to take rest. Here in this sentence, feeling is present participle, so it's a non-finite verb. decided is the second form of verb, so it is a finite verb. Whereas to go is an infinitive and is therefore a non-finite verb. Look at example sentence number 2. It says, after walking for 20 minutes, the old man sat on a bench. Here, walking is present participle and is therefore a non-finite verb. Whereas sat is the second form of verb, so it is a finite verb. Example sentence number 3. To err is human, to forgive divine. Here, to err is an infinitive and is therefore a non-finite verb. Likewise, to forgive is an infinitive and is therefore a non-finite verb. Example sentence number 4. Help him lift the box. Here, help is the first form of verb, so it is a finite verb, whereas lift is a bare infinitive and is therefore a non-finite verb. Take example sentence number 5. It says, broken by strong wind, a branch of the tree fell on the ground. Here the underlined word broken is the past participle, so it is a non-finite verb. Fell is the second form of verb, so it is a finite verb. Dear students, with this we conclude our lesson about finite and non-finite verb. I hope you are clear with the concepts. Dear students, after learning about the finite and non-finite verbs, we now move to another important category of verbs which we call linking verb. Let's see how it is described. A linking verb is a verb that is always followed by a noun or a pronoun or an adjective that adds something to the meaning of the subject, noun or pronoun, and thus completes the information about it. It shows the state of the subject rather than the action done by it. It is called linking verb because it links together two nouns or pronouns which refer to the same thing, or a noun or pronoun and an adjective which modifies it. The most common linking verb is to be. Let's take some example sentences containing linking verbs. Number 1. The boy is a student. Here, in this sentence, is a linking verb, whereas student is the noun that modifies the subject boy and completes the information about it. Sentence number 2. She was beautiful. Was here is the linking verb, whereas beautiful is the adjective that modifies the subject she. Example sentence number 3. It is I. Here is the linking verb, whereas the pronoun I is there to modify the subject it. Example sentence number 4. They were tourists. We have the linking verb were in this sentence, whereas the noun tourists modifies the subject they. Example sentence number 5 says, the house is big. In this sentence, is the linking verb, whereas the adjective big modifies the subject house. Dear students, do keep this thing in your mind that there are some other verbs that can be used as linking verbs. They are seem, appear, remain, grow, become, get, feel, look, sound, taste and smell. When used as linking verbs, they express the state of the subject and not the action performed by it. Let's see the example sentences. Number 1. The boy seems, feels, looks happy. In this sentence, the linking verbs express the state of the boy. Number 2. The man appears, remains, becomes the leader. Here again, the linking verbs express the state of man. Number 3. The food looks, tastes, smells good. Again, looks, tastes and smells tell us about the state of the food. See the note given below. It says, a linking verb is an intransitive verb because it has no object. So, it's an important point that you have to keep in your mind while dealing with the linking verbs. They are all intransitive verbs because they do not have any object after them. Whereas all the intransitive verbs are not linking verbs. Dear students, our next topic in our today's lesson is subject complement. We all know that a linking verb is always followed by either a noun or pronoun or an adjective that adds to the meaning of the subject. This noun or pronoun or adjective is called the complement since it completes the sentence, which would be incomplete if it only ends with the linking verb. In other words, it complements the subject by describing it, so it is called the subject complement. Let's see the example sentences. Ahmed is a doctor. In this sentence, is the linking verb, whereas doctor is the noun that modifies the subject Ahmed. Doctor, therefore, is the subject complement in this sentence. Example sentence number 2. The child became happy. In this sentence, became is the linking verb, whereas happy is the adjective that modifies the subject child. Happy, therefore, is the subject complement in this sentence. Example sentence number 3. This is a pen. In this sentence, we have is as the linking verb, whereas pen is the noun that modifies the subject this. So, pen is the subject complement in this sentence. Dear students, after learning about the subject complement, we now move to the definition of object complement. We all know that a transitive verb is always followed by an object, and the action done by the subject passes over from the subject, doer of action, to the object, receiver of action. The noun or adjective that complements an object by describing it is called an object complement. Let's see the example sentences to make our concepts clear. Number 1. They called him a fool. In this sentence, called is the transitive verb followed by the object him, whereas fool is the noun that modifies the object. Therefore, fool is the object complement in this sentence. See example sentence number 2. The news made me sad. Here, made is the transitive verb followed by the object me, whereas sad is the adjective that modifies the object me. Therefore, sad is the object complement in this sentence. Example sentence number 3. The club appointed Mr. Amir chairman. In this example sentence, we have appointed as the transitive verb followed by the object Mr. Amir, whereas chairman is the noun that modifies Mr. Amir. Therefore, chairman is the object complement in this sentence. Dear students, with this we conclude our today's lesson.